Good morning. My name's Amanda, and I'm a nursing instructor in Maine. And I am a holistic nurse, and I bring that holistic nursing philosophy into the classroom. And one of the things that I care deeply about is supporting nursing students. So, this is a video about how to create a delicious paper. So, it's a recipe for a paper. And it's a 12-step recipe, which I will also share the 12 steps. I can't figure out how to make the video not show the words backwards. Yeah, so challenging times for me. This might be a part one. It depends how long I talk. Okay, so number one, start early. Okay, you cannot write a paper in one night or one weekend. You have to start early. So we're talking like a month early. So put it on your calendar. I will start my paper 1 month before. Well, guess what? If you're watching this, it's probably already less than a month until your paper's due. So next time, okay, goals. So you can write it on your calendar that I will start my paper on this day. I will have my first draft done on this day. Map it out. And that has always helped me with deadlines. Number two, review guidelines and rubric carefully. Okay, this is what's being asked of you. So if you just try to wing it, oftentimes when I'm grading papers, people didn't follow the guidelines. Okay, if it says it's supposed to be a nursing paper called The Role of the Nurse in Your Subject, whatever that is. So the role of the nurse in postpartum care. Or it may be scientific, like the evidence that yoga is helpful in arthritis. Okay, so everything that's in that paper has to do with your topic. So read your guidelines, make sure that you understand them, and look directly at the rubric because that's how we grade papers. So if it says 1 point for title page, if you don't have a title page, you're not getting that point. And so look at what's being asked at you first. Number three, review APA format. So, it's not that instructors are trying to trick you. APA is not meant to be horrific, but it is a bit challenging to get used to. So once you write a few papers, you'll get comfortable. You use the same basic rules, and then depending on what sources you use or whether you do a list with bullet points or quote a whole paragraph or whatnot. So you will get used to it, review it. There's so many great online resources now. Purdue OWL is one. I'm sure there's YouTube videos about the basics of APA in nursing. And it's meant to teach you to write in the same format that we publish papers in. So it's getting you ready for professional nursing roles, being part of professional organizations and journals. So it's just a standard format, and you can do this. Okay, so number four, so you've reviewed the guidelines and the rubric, you've reviewed APA, and now number four is do a proper lit search with approved sources. So you're going to go under CINHL, CINAHL, which it's something nursing and allied health literature. So from your university or college library site, you'll find that. You're going to go under there and you're going to search your topic. So perhaps it's role of nursing in postpartum health. And you'll put that right in there. You will put some, what's it called? Limitations, I guess, on it. So you'll want it to be written in English and have be evidence-based or peer-reviewed. And you will want to put the date published as less than 5 years. Some institutions it's 6 years, but you want to make sure that it's a current article. So what you're not going to do is go on Google and just put in nursing and postpartum health, because, when we correct papers, most instructors go right to the resources page right off and look and see what is the meat of this paper based on. And if it's Wikipedia and Ladies' Home Journal articles, then the whole root basis foundation of the paper is not based on evidence-based research and articles. So right there, your grade goes way down. Okay, so you get your lit search, you find your articles, however many resources you need, 4, 3, 5, 7, and pop them right into your reference page right then and there. You can always take them out later, but that way you have started your reference page. Then, number 5 is read and highlight your resources. So you're going to read through them and pick out what really speaks to your topic. A paragraph here, a statement here or there, so that you know where you're going to stick those in your paper. Okay, number 6, make an outline. So, this is how they taught us to write in middle school. You make an outline with your thoughts. So every paper has pretty much the same recipe. So paragraph 1, introduction. And that is where you introduce the main ideas of your paper. You don't get into them yet, but you just introduce what you're going to talk about, and all the points. So then you go through the body of the paper, outlining your themes. So if you found an article about the role of nursing and postpartum care, and it says, nurses support at the bedside, verbal support or emotional support is important. Okay, so maybe that's 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs on that article. When you use a resource, you are not cutting and pasting the paragraph into your paper and then changing a few words. That is not okay. And you are, the thought is that you would read the paragraph, let it go into your brain, and then put the resource away, and then write your thoughts that were influenced by what you read, okay? And then you would cite it using APA format. Direct quotes can be used, but infrequently is what's recommended, unless it's a Sentinel quote or some sort of work that really can't be paraphrased. In nursing education and the papers that we expect, it's a more solid resource or a higher level of synthesis, right? Learning, than if it goes in your brain and it comes out in your words, not just quoting and cutting and pasting. So plagiarism is cutting and pasting and changing a few words, but using quotes, too many quotes, just shows that you didn't synthesize it through your brain. You just moved it from one place to another. Okay, I am on number 6. Okay, so making your outline. So then you go through your main points in an organized fashion. Each paragraph starts with a sentence that explains what the paragraph's going to be about. So, it's very organized, and that's the part that it's so challenging to read papers where people's thoughts are all over the place. So it's very simple. So introduction paragraph explains the whole paper briefly, hooks the reader. And then the paragraphs following are very organized. The first sentence talks about what the paragraph's going to be about, how it relates to your topic, and then you go through your paper in an organized fashion, building your point that nurses are crucial at the bedside for postpartum health. and why is that so important, and what are some interventions that the nurses do? Always coming back to nursing. The other thing that just popped into my head was a lot of times nursing papers, because you end up doing a search maybe on Medline or PubMed, we can get a lot of medical, like the Journal of JAMA. Yep. I can't think of it right now, that's okay. Or the British Medical Journal. So you're getting all these very in-depth studies about, cytokines and little genetic markers. Unless it's that's the guidelines of your paper, your audience is nurses. So your resources should be from nursing sources. That's a tongue twister. There are so many amazing nursing journals, and it should be directed at your reader. So you don't need to go into the depth of a neuroscientist to get your point across, unless that's what's being asked of you, and it's usually not in nursing school. Undergraduate. Okay, so then your outline, you've got all your paragraphs where you think they should go, and your conclusion, which sums everything up without adding new information. You can start writing your first draft. So make your title page, get your formatting all set, and start writing the words that go in with all these bullet points from your outline. It's all organized already, and now you just have to fill in with the meat of the paper. So after you write your first draft, you will have a peer read it, or the writing center. And they're reading it, they don't have to be nurses to read it. It could be a spouse, a friend, a partner, because what they need to read it for first draft is organization and clarity of thoughts and grammar. So those are not, anybody, a high schooler could read your nursing paper and tell you whether it's organized and your grammar flows and your thoughts flow. You would be surprised how many people have major grammatical errors that, there are some that the word grammar check doesn't pick up on. So having somebody read, that's just key. So I'm going to stop here because I'm worried it won't upload to YouTube if it gets too long. So I'm at 13 minutes, and I am on number 8, having a peer read it. And I will finish up in a couple minutes in part 2.